This video was brought to you by CuriosityStream. Yesterday, we released a video explaining why Tesla had a rough year in 2022. We ran through a timeline of troubles and difficult decisions which led Tesla to go from being worth in excess of $1 trillion to below $350 billion. The thing is though, that's still a ton of money. They might have wiped nearly 70% off their share price in the last year, far more than Ford, GM, VW and Toyota, or well, anyone else, but they're still worth a lot more. That suggests that this might not actually be the bottom for Tesla. So in this video, we're going to run through 3 reasons why Tesla might not be at the bottom yet, and why their bad 2022 could actually be a sign of worse things to come. Like I said a moment ago, despite their worse than average downturn in the industry, Tesla is still worth more than any of the legacy automakers. Businesses which not only sell vastly more cars than Tesla, but also have been doing so for decades if not centuries. Tesla were able to achieve this truly massive valuation not by comparing themselves to these companies though. They wanted to compare themselves to tech companies. They did this by not focusing on production or demand right now, but by highlighting their innovative technology, solar power capability, self-driving, essentially arguing that the future was on their side. They made the case, perhaps accurately, that in the not too distant future, electric cars would become dominant, and that as the market leader, they were well positioned to eat the traditional player's lunch. All this comes down to the PE multiple, a basic way of valuing a business's worth. Essentially, you take a business's current earnings and then multiply it by the agreed multiple to work out their future value. For instance, Toyota's current GE ratio sits at about 10.1 versus 2023 projected earnings. That's to say that if you wanted to buy Toyota today, you'd need to pay 10.1 times more than they're projected to earn this year, which makes sense. The current owners aren't going to sell if you don't cover not only the value the company holds this year, but also the money they could make in the future if they just hold on to control. The same principle is true across the market too. GM's PE ratio is 5.7, Ford is 5.2, and VW is 4.6. These numbers give an indication of how the market feels about the brands in question, not only how likely they are to make money right now, but how much they're expected to earn in the future, what their technology and expertise is worth, and how demand is expected to change. If the answer to these questions is positive, then the PE multiple is going to increase. And for Tesla, those answers definitely were positive. Tesla successfully convinced investors that the future was bright for EVs and thus very bright for them, leading Tesla's current PE ratio to be about 24 times their projected earnings for 2023, a supremely high number. Therefore, you can see why some argue that Tesla has long been overvalued. They say that Tesla has successfully duped Wall Street into believing they dominate an electric and driverless future. But given that production issues continue and technological promises still haven't been delivered on, Tesla's reckoning might be incoming. Now, Tesla certainly wasn't wrong when they argued that the future was electric. In fact, a number of countries have already announced dates after which the sale of non-electric cars will be banned. The thing is that Tesla assumed their early success in the market gave them a dominant position over the incumbents. That hasn't totally played out. Today, the incumbents are fighting back hard, with the Wall Street Journal reporting that there are 53 different electric cars available right now, or very soon in the US market alone. This gives potential Tesla customers a ton of choice, which might not have been a problem given Tesla's strong reputation, but the company has continually struggled with supply. So instead of becoming a totally dominant force in the EV space over the last few years, Tesla has struggled to even meet demand, leaving customers choosing between a long wait and just choosing a different car. And the thing is that electric car purchasers don't look to be anywhere near as loyal as ordinary car consumers. Ordinarily, about half of customers buy from the same manufacturer when purchasing a new vehicle. However, according to new reporting from Forbes, 80% of people buying Kia's EVs came from a different brand previously, compared to 61% for their other models. The same is true at Ford, where 66% of electric buyers traded in a non-Ford car, compared to the normal 41%. It seems then that despite emulating big tech companies like Apple, Tesla just doesn't have the lock-in its idol does. They're not only unable to produce enough vehicles to meet demand, they're also struggling with consumers who, unwilling to wait, are turning to other manufacturers instead. The thing is, it's not just the wait putting some customers off. Musk's antics at Twitter already seem to be swaying customers. Now, that might seem a little silly, so let's reckon with a somewhat uncomfortable truth. A lot of purchases you make are less about the straight utility of the purchase, but what it says about you. Be it about your house, your clothes, or your car, people are constantly making decisions to project something about their identity to others. That's actually always been a part of Tesla's appeal. Not only does purchasing one allow you to drive a fun, future-forward car, but it also tells other people that you yourself are leaning into the future and care about values such as protecting the environment. As such, Tesla becomes the ultimate status symbol for the rich, highly educated and democratic. In fact, research conducted by researcher Charles Gaber proves what we already inherently knew. Even in Democratic-leaning New York State, those in bluer counties were significantly more likely not only to be better educated and higher paid, but also much more likely to drive a Tesla. The problem is that a brand's reputation is never static. Tesla might be the same future-looking company, using technology to project an environmentally friendly image, but their once charismatic and mobilizing CEO has taken a rather different agenda in recent months. If you're this deep into a video like this, I hardly think it requires explaining, but throughout 2022, Musk's public image significantly tacked to the right, with him tweeting a number of things that look pretty inflammatory to Tesla's core liberal base. As such, the reputation of Tesla is already shifting, with polling from the end of last year showing that within weeks of taking over Twitter, Musk had significantly damaged Tesla's reputation with the left, and barely helped it with the right. That left Tesla's biggest market souring on the brand, very much aware that their planned Tesla purchase wouldn't just tell their friends and colleagues that they wanted to support a more high-tech and greener future, but that they also tacitly supported Musk. It seems then that production issues and Musk's performance at Twitter could be putting off potential customers, which in turn pokes some pretty major holes in the justification for Tesla's high earnings multiple, that they'd be the dominant manufacturer in the future. Now, this is far from set in stone. Many people are actually optimistic about Tesla's future, essentially following Musk's suggestion that he's going to hand over the reins at Twitter, even if symbolically. In fact, more bullish Wall Street analytics project that the company will be up 104% by the end of the year. This is a big claim though. Even applying Apple's PE multiple to Tesla would see the business down 3.3% based on projected 2023 sales. Things would get even worse if you shifted the PE ratio to that of the market average, or worse still, an average of automakers. Now, it's unlikely that Tesla's reputation with customers and investors will slip that low, but it's certainly not impossible that with a recession looming, customer spending drying up, and a declining reputation with their core market, Tesla could see their value drop yet further. That'd be a massive issue for Musk's personal financial situation. He's already borrowed and leveraged hard to purchase Twitter, and if the stocks he's leveraging that money against collapse yet further, then those supporting him financially and boosting his liquidity might grow increasingly frustrated. This isn't the only problem Musk has though. Tesla really relies on China, because about half of their cars are built there and a quarter sold there. That's an issue for Musk though, as it gives them leverage over him. That's not massively problematic when it comes to a car company, but now Musk owns Twitter, that's a much bigger problem. That's because China has some pretty big demands for social networks, things like censorship, hunting down dissidents, and propaganda. This video is already out and has already been out for 2 weeks exclusively on Nebula. If you want to watch that video along with a ton of other exclusive content, then head over to Nebula. That's the streaming service we made with a bunch of our creator friends, where we post exclusive explainers and fun videos, like our team attempting the British citizenship test or our blooper reel.
On Wednesday, Peru's Prime Minister... Oh, God. I'm just going to ask next door, I'll be back. Turns out there's a bunch of useless next door.
Nebula viewers also get many of our videos before YouTube, as well as our content ad-free. If you do want to sign up, the best deal is with the Nebula Curiosity Stream deal. That way, if you sign up to Curiosity Stream, home to some of the best documentaries online, you'll also get Nebula absolutely free. That means 2 streaming services for less than $15 a year. Anyway, thanks for supporting the channel.